The Cardinals leave SoCal feeling so good as they take down California Lutheran University 41-21 on the West Coast in the opening round of the playoffs. But they can't unpack their bags just yet, as they are now slated to face Linfield College of Oregon in the second round. We recap the win and preview the trip to the Pacific Northwest right now on the Red Zone. Welcome to the Red Zone. I'm Mark Dahlquist. Joining me is head coach for the Cardinals, John Thorne. Coach, thanks so much for checking in.
It's great to be here.
Well, I'm sure it's great to be talking about a Cardinals win as you guys take down Cal Lutheran 41-21 on Saturday. How was that West Coast trip for you guys?
You know, it turned out to be a kind of a gift from the NCAA. We looked at it as a reward instead of a penalty, and the players and the coaches got very excited about it, and so we really enjoyed the whole trip. Everything went very smooth, and the guys were they were ready to play. That was a great game. I just really enjoyed watching them.
And the NCAA makes it a lot easier on you guys. Normally somebody would think that you guys would have to book 80 plane tickets, but they charter a flight for you guys, so it definitely makes it easier that you guys are traveling as one group for the whole weekend.
Yeah, we felt pretty special on on a chartered flight. That was really great. I'm not going to ever want to fly any other way now.
But onto the game, the flight paid off. You guys a little bit of a rocky start. The first play gets a little botched, but then Nick Kukoc gets the offense going with just a huge run, and your ground game really seemed to never look back.
Well, what was really great about that is the offensive line. I mean, they opened a gigantic hole for him, and I don't think he got touched at all on the entire trip. I mean, he made some guys miss, and but he outran everybody. So that was our biggest concern going out there, is how is our team speed going to match their team speed? Because on film, they look really fast. And they are fast, but we were just as fast, if not a little bit faster. And so that helped all of us on the sideline, especially the coaches, say, all right, I think we can run with these guys. We have a chance now. Of course, we hadn't seen their offense on the field yet, but it turned out that defensively we matched up against those guys too.
You know, and your coaching staff has always stressed speed, and planning for games in the CCIW against Wheaton and Elmhurst, you guys have tons of film on them. You guys probably didn't have much film on the Kingsmen going in this one.
Not very much. You get you have to exchange 3 films, but 3 films is not very much to really learn a lot about what they can do and what they can't do.
Right.
And so you're making a lot of decisions on a limited amount of information.
Right.
You might be making a mistake sometimes. So our coaches did a great job coming up with the game plan, and it turned out that that's who they really were, and it worked. So hopefully it'll work again this week.
Well, there weren't too many mistakes in the game plan. We talked so much about their offense last week, but really it was your offense that stole the show, because it's hard for their offense to get going if they can't really stay on the field. Your defense was really good at getting them off the field, and there were a couple times on 4th down conversions where they stopped them, particularly on the goal line.
Oh my gosh, that was one of the, I've been around football for 50 years now, and I can't remember a goal line stand that was any better than that. I mean, they had the ball inside the 1. And we stopped them for 4 straight plays, and actually even created a fumble on the last play and recovered it. So the defensive guys really stepped up a couple times in the red zone, but especially that one.
And how does a play like that, or a defensive stand like that, motivate this team and keep that energy flying high for the rest of the game?
Well, you have to have leadership on both sides of the ball, and Joey Michael at the linebacker spot is huge, helping that way. And then Shane Durking in the secondary, he comes up and makes some great hits for us, and he's the one that actually forced that fumble. So when your leaders are making big plays in a big game, it's not hard for the other guys to come on board. You know, Josh Mitchell had a tough task that whole ball game. He was supposed to really slow down this number 4, who was a great receiver for them. 82 catches coming in,
right.
And it really the only catches he got, meaningful catches that he got, were in the fourth quarter when we were playing with our second string guys. So all 3 of those guys stepped up huge, and the D-line had to get pressure, and they did. So it worked really well.
Yeah, you mentioned Josh Mitchell really shut down Eric Rogers. He even got an interception there at one point. But the score of the game was actually probably not as close as the final score dictated. You guys were able to get some of your starters some rest. How important is that, since you guys hope to make a deep playoff run?
Well, it's very important because of finals week and everything, and 2 flights all the way to the West Coast. That's going to take energy out of everybody.
Right.
And so giving your number 2 guys some plays and resting some of your number 1s whenever we can was very helpful in that game, and it has been the whole season. We still have some guys injured, though, so it's going to be really tricky who starts and who doesn't start on the offensive line this coming week.
Well, hopefully some guys can get healthy this week. Keep it right here on the Red Zone, because we continue to break down the Cardinals with Coach Thorne right after this.
Yes, ready. Go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to the Red Zone. We're with head coach for the Cardinals, John Thorne. Coach, it wasn't just the defense that was causing turnovers, but the special teams unit was also able to cause a turnover on a kickoff.
You know, we talked about that kind of all week, but especially that day, you know, that would be a huge help to the whole team. And don't just be satisfied with tackling somebody. Make sure you're trying to punch the ball out. And our Steve Laramitis, who is a special team specialist, that's what he does.
Yep.
You know, he got down there and made a nice play, and then one of our little freshmen, PJ Crotty, ended up on the football, and so that was huge, and it really gave a lot of emotion to our side, but it also took an awful lot of momentum away from what they were getting ready to do. You know, they thought, all right, now we're going to get our offense out there and we'll show them, but it didn't happen.
You know, when your offense got out there, it really did show them. Nick Kukoc, 250 yards on the ground. He moves into second all-time on the rushing list. I mean, he's really just had a lights-out year.
Well, if he'll do that for four more weeks in a row, yeah. That'll be an amazing year. We would love to see that kind of production continue for him. The offensive lineman really worked hard. He had some 0 yardage carries, but he was patient. He waited. He read the blocking, and bam, he's got this burst when it opens. And so we're hoping that he's going to have some more really big runs this coming week, and that will, you know, that's really going to make the difference in the game. If Spencer had a fabulous game, the receivers had a great game, but we need to get that running game going, keep their offense off the field a little bit longer.
And whenever you talk to Nick, he mentions the receivers in the run game because he says he can't do it with them without their downfield blocking. They really put in a lot of effort, it seems like, when they're not running routes. Oh
my gosh, they did. It was just a beautiful thing to watch him take off, and the defensive backs couldn't get off the blocks quick enough to get a good angle, and then I think they sort of misjudged how fast he was and took him that angle on top of that. So 79-yard touchdown is a long run.
Yeah. And when those receivers weren't blocking for him, they were catching touchdowns themselves. Your receivers really seemed to come out, and as you said, Spencer had a great game, so it was really a multifaceted offense for you guys this week.
You know, it was. I mean, he threw 3 touchdown passes, and he ran another one himself. He ran the option beautifully. He read it really, really well, and had some big plays where he had to keep the ball. We only gave up 1 sack. We shouldn't probably have given up any. You know, this week we're playing a team that's got 57 sacks. They lead the nation. For the last 2 years in a row they have. We had a team that led the nation a few years ago.
Right.
But if our O-line can keep the pocket clean for quick throws and get some things blocked so that Nick can get going, that's going to be the whole key to this game. Is can our offensive line deal with their defensive line in a way that allows us to run offensive plays.
And one of those receivers is actually sort of making a home trip this week, as Jeff Stolzenberg is actually from the Beaver State, but he's brought his talents to Naperville, and we take a look at how he's helped anchor a resurgent receiving corps in this week's Cardinal Corner. When the Cardinals make the trip to Oregon this weekend, there will be one member of the team that feels right at home. Even though he attended St. Charles North High School, sophomore wide receiver Jeff Stolzenberg called Beaverton, Oregon home for years. But lucky for Cardinal fans, his love for football brought him back to the Chicagoland area.
Living out here for 4 years of high school, I just always wanted to go back home to University of Oregon. And then when I wasn't able to play football there, I decided to come back home, and I was looking for a school and fell in love with this school.
And Stolzenberg has given Cardinal fans something to love this season. Thanks to his speed, he has been a consistent deep threat, averaging almost 20 yards a reception while hauling in a team-leading 7 touchdown catches.
He has some sneaky speed when he wants to use it, you know. I mean, we feel like he can burn past anyone that gets put up against him.
And the speed of Stolzenberg and the other wide receivers has not only benefited the Cardinal passing game, but the ground game as well.
Just driving the guys off, you know, it gives them extra room to move around. Just move the defense back, gives them more room to do what they need to do.
They do a great job of threatening the defenses downfield, which makes the defenses have to play back off coverage, and they can't put 7 in the box, so they have to leave the middle of the field open, which really allows us to use our run game.
If teams do decide to key in on the ground attack, the Cardinals are not afraid to air it out.
It's awesome having great receivers like that who can run great routes, get open, get separation. Makes my job a lot easier.
If they can't stop our run, then we always got the pass. It's just another option.
And the Cardinals hope both options continue to succeed deep into the playoffs. Coach, how important is it to have such an effective receiving and running game, especially when you're going to be going up a team like Linfield College this coming week?
Well, you have to have balance in the playoffs when you're playing teams that are this good. If you have to rely totally on one or the other, that's very, very hard. It's pretty easy for defenses to get a good plan that's going to slow down what you do best. So you have to be able to have some balance between the two. And it's going to be Spencer's throws, the receivers' catches are going to be gigantic this week to take some pressure off of the run game, because they're good at stopping the run, but they're really good at sacking the quarterback. Right. So it's going to be really tricky little tightrope to be walking throughout the course of the game.
Well, hopefully, guys, you can stay on that tightrope and you don't fall off against Linfield College. Best of luck and happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, Coach.
Thanks, Mark. You too.
Coming up next, the Red Zone welcomes 2 members of the Cardinals that hope to help the team enjoy another plane ride home. Don't go away.